Welcome back to Bodybuilding Nation. Today we're covering several major stories including Regan Grimes' latest updates ahead of the California Pro, Nick Walker's changed perspective on the Olympia, the ongoing prize money controversy, Logan Franklin's bold predictions, and updates from other top competitors. Regan Grimes primed for California Pro victory. Let's start with Regan Grimes, who's just days away from competing at the California Pro in his quest for 2025 Olympia qualification. Based on the current competitor lineup, Regan enters as the clear favorite to take the title, with Samson Dauda likely being his primary competition for the top two positions. Regan's recent physique updates showcase exactly what makes him such an appealing competitor in the open division. His aesthetic lines and proportions represent what many consider the ideal for a more visually pleasing open bodybuilder. What made his New York Pro package so impressive was his ability to combine these classic lines with substantial added size. For years, Regan's challenge has been appearing narrow on stage, despite his off-season weight often exceeding 300 pounds. Being a taller competitor, he's consistently worked to add mass to match his impressive structure. At the New York Pro, he finally seemed to achieve that balance, bringing size that allowed him to stand confidently next to mass monsters like Nick Walker without looking diminished. Standing alongside Nick Walker, who made Derek Lunsford, Martin Fitzwater, and even Michael Krizo appear smaller at Pittsburgh, Regan held his own impressively. This suggests he's made the improvements fans have been waiting to see for years. If Regan brings a comparable package to what he showed in New York, he should claim the California Pro title. However, Samson Dauda presents a unique challenge with his extreme conditioning. While Regan defeated Samson convincingly in New York, he needs to be cautious about any conditioning slip, as Samson's trademark sharpness could capitalize on any weaknesses. Even though the New York result wasn't controversial, this upcoming battle requires Regan to maintain his peak level, as any decline could allow Samson to potentially upset the expected outcome. Nick Walker tempered expectations for Olympia. In a significant shift from his previous rhetoric, Nick Walker has recently adjusted his public stance regarding the upcoming Olympia. Following his performances at Pittsburgh and New York, Nick has expressed some disappointment, particularly with the Pittsburgh outcome where Derek Lunsford claimed victory. In a recent statement, Nick said, "Look, I'm not going to say that I'm going to win the Olympia this year. I'm going to say I'll be top 3, but there's still a lot of work to be done." Three-time New York Pro champ getting ready for the 2025 Mr. Olympia. "I ain't going to sit here and say I'm going to win, but you better believe I'll be in that top 3. Where in that top 3 I'll be, I guess we'll wait and see." This represents a dramatically different approach from Nick's historically confident declarations about winning the Olympia. For years, he's boldly predicted championship victories, so this more measured approach reflects either strategic repositioning or genuine uncertainty about his championship prospects. This tempered confidence is actually more palatable to many fans and more realistic given the current competitive landscape. Do I believe Nick has legitimate top 3 potential at this year's Olympia? Absolutely. That goal seems both reasonable and achievable, especially considering how closely he challenged Derek at Pittsburgh. The main disagreement many have with Bob Cicherillo's recent comments isn't necessarily about Nick's championship potential, but rather Bob's definitive statement that Nick will never win the Olympia. In bodybuilding, absolute statements like never seem problematic because anything can happen in this sport. While I personally consider Nick's Olympia victory unlikely, I wouldn't say it's impossible. The current era has seen unprecedented title turnover, more frequent championship changes than perhaps any period in bodybuilding history. None of the recent champions have established dominant reigns, with the title consistently changing hands. Even Big Ramy, who won twice, essentially disappeared after losing the title. Brandon Curry, Hadi Choopan, Derek Lunsford, and Samson Dauda, none have maintained long-term dominance. Given this pattern of new champions emerging regularly, would I be shocked if Nick claimed the title? Not entirely, because recent history suggests anything is possible. If we're expecting another first-time champion this year, someone other than Derek, Samson, or Hadi, Nick would certainly be among the top candidates for that breakthrough victory. Andrew Jacked responds to Lenda Murray controversy. Andrew Jacked has issued a strong response to the ongoing prize money controversy involving Lenda Murray, and this will likely be our final coverage of this topic, since positions seem firmly established on both sides. What makes Andrew's response particularly noteworthy is his typical avoidance of social media drama. Andrew rarely posts anything beyond occasional training footage or sponsor content, so his decision to address this publicly suggests genuine frustration with being specifically targeted. His response included, "Me IG 850K, 18 of them, 3 million plus. Common sense, me versus them, 6-to-1 ratio." Along with screenshots showing his Arnold Classic payout of $70,000 minus $21,000 in federal withholding, netting $49,000. Andrew's caption clarified his position. "For some of you ignorant people who can't read or have listening deficiencies, let me be very clear. Why did Lenda Murray call me out directly and personally? I don't follow her, neither do I know her or her stats. I've been in this industry for only 3 years, and I've never said anything about anyone, never complained. I've got nothing to do with Arnold's money or Instagram followers. That's the fan's choice. If you want to complain, go ahead, but keep my name out of your mouth." Andrew's confusion about being specifically targeted makes sense. After analyzing the situation, I suspect Lenda chose Andrew because she works for Wings of Strength, essentially the Olympia's production company, making her effectively an Olympia proxy. Calling out Derek, first place, or Samson, second place, both Mr. Olympia champions, would diminish the value of the Olympia title itself. Andrew, as the highest-placing non-champion, became the logical target. The fundamental issue remains. Divisions are compensated based on popularity and revenue generation, not gender. The most popular divisions receive the highest prize money. A basic business principle that isn't inherently discriminatory. Both things can simultaneously be true. Female competitors can be tremendously talented, hard-working athletes with impressive physiques, while also competing in divisions that generate less viewership, ticket sales, and overall revenue than men's open bodybuilding. The proof is readily available to anyone willing to observe objectively. During any live-streamed competition, simply watch the viewer counts displayed during different divisions. The disparity between men's open and other divisions is typically dramatic, often 10x to 20x differences in viewership. If female divisions generated comparable interest and revenue to men's open, promoters like Arnold would certainly recognize and capitalize on that popularity. The fact that they don't suggests the current compensation structure reflects actual market demand rather than bias. Logan Franklin's BOLD Olympia prediction. Logan Franklin recently shared his top 3 Olympia predictions, naming himself, Terence Ruffin, and Mike Sommerfeld, while notably excluding competitors like Ramon Dino. Surprisingly, this prediction isn't entirely unrealistic. Logan would need to add some size while maintaining his Arnold Classic conditioning, but if he achieves that balance, a top 3 placement seems plausible. Based purely on posing ability, Logan and Terence rank among the division's best presenters, with Terence arguably being the finest poser across all IFBB categories. While they might not be the most muscular competitors in classic physique, both embody the aesthetic ideals many associate with the division. Logan's physique represents what many envision when picturing classic proportions and lines. Classic physique remains highly subjective in its judging criteria. If you prefer a more muscular classic champion, Mike Sommerfeld fits that description. For exceptional conditioning with beautiful flow and lines, Logan excels. If you want balanced proportions with great posing and flow, Terence delivers, though he's not the largest competitor. Current judging trends seem to favor Mike's more muscular approach, given his Arnold victory and Olympia runner-up finish. If Logan wants to crack the top 3, he'll likely need additional muscle mass, particularly in the lower body, back, and chest, to better compete with Mike's standard. Personally, Logan's 2025 Arnold package ranks among my favorite classic physique presentations outside of Chris Bumstead's work. His aesthetic represents my ideal for the division, with Terence following closely behind. These preferences highlight classic physique's subjective nature, which makes the division so interesting to follow and discuss. Upcoming competitors, Tonio Burton and Behrooz Tabani. Looking ahead to upcoming competitions, Tonio Burton appears ready for the Legion Sports Festival at the end of May. This will mark his first 2025 appearance, and based on recent updates, he should be the favorite to win. Tonio's physique shows excellent conditioning, added size, and tremendous vascularity heading into the show. Behrooz Tabani is 5 weeks out from the Dubai show, likely scheduled for late June. Behrooz represents an excellent balance of conditioning, aesthetics and size in open bodybuilding. His physique combines crazy conditioning with pleasing proportions and substantial mass. I sincerely hope Behrooz secures his visa if he qualifies for the Olympia this year. He's missed 2 or 3 previous Olympias due to visa issues despite earning qualification. He absolutely belongs on the Olympia stage and represents one of the sport's most underrated talents due to circumstances beyond his control. Final thoughts. The bodybuilding landscape continues evolving rapidly, with compelling storylines developing across all levels. From Regan's California Pro preparation to Nick's adjusted Olympia expectations, the sport remains as unpredictable and exciting as ever. What are your thoughts on these developments? Can Regan secure his Olympia qualification at the California Pro? Do you agree with Nick's more realistic Olympia assessment? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this comprehensive update, please hit that like button and subscribe to Bodybuilding Nation for more coverage. Thanks for watching.